always, this is a very sad case. It's a tragedy, but it was still kind of interesting to see how the police, even though they had not much experience with this kind of case, did their research in a way that they found whoever did this, and that's what I'm going to share with you today. Now, this happened in Royce City, Texas, that is located near Dallas. It's nothing like Dallas. It's a rural area. It has a lot of trees and about 5,000 people live there. It's very peaceful and very quiet. So, Norma and Dennis Woodruff, that became empty nesters recently, decided to move there and seek more of the country lifestyle. They moved there from Keith, Texas, a close town, and it's been 2 weeks since they moved to Royce, Texas. Norma loved the country lifestyle. That is how she was raised, and she knew that sooner or later, Dennis, her husband, would really love it too. They had 2 kids, Charla and Brandon, but both of them left for college. So, when they bought their new home in Royce, Texas, they were looking for a smaller house with lots of outdoor space, and that's exactly what they found. Now, Royce was pretty far away, or is pretty far away from Texarkana, and that is where Norma's sister Linda lives. Linda is older, 13 years older than Norma, but they have a pretty close relationship. So even though they're pretty far away now from each other, they still manage to keep in contact and visit each other, pretty frequently. Norma, she is an accountant, but she also has this side business, and where she breeds and where she takes care of these animals that later on she sells and teaches people how to take care of them. So when Norma and Dennis moved to this new house, they had plenty of room where she could have her second business, and since she loved animals, it was perfect for her. Dennis, on the other side, he's a quality control supervisor, and he doesn't share the love for the outdoors so much. So he's usually inside cooking because that is his true passion. He's always testing a new recipe and coming up with different things in the kitchen. But Norma isn't so handy in the kitchen, so she usually does the dishes, and that seems to work out really well for them. They can't really wait either to spend the rest of their lives there. They're enjoying it every single minute. But it was cut short pretty soon. On October 18, 2005, it was a regular day for Linda, Norma's sister. She is a receptionist in a lawyer's firm, but just before she leaves for lunch on October 18, 2005, she receives a call from her niece, Charla. Now, Charla was pretty worried about her parents. She's been calling them since Sunday, and it was Tuesday, and she couldn't get a hold of them, so she decided to call her aunt and see if she has talked to them since then. Linda mentions that she hasn't, so she started to call Norma and Dennis both at work, but she had she left a few messages for them. Then Jorla and Linda both started calling everyone they knew to see if somebody had talked to them since Sunday, but nobody did. So by 5 p.m., they contacted one of their friends. His name is Gary, and he was the one that lived closer to the house, to Dennis and Norma's house. He lived 30 minutes away. So he went to the house and saw that both cars were outside. He also checked the doors, but they were all locked. He finally opened a window and he got in. But when he got in, he saw that Norma and Dennis were on the couch. They were covered in blood, but they were in a very creepy way where it seems like they were watching TV. Of course, both of them were dead. So he called Linda, which is Norma's sister, and told her that what he found. Then he called the police, and when the police arrived there, they just couldn't believe the degree of violence in the killing, specifically for Dennis. He was shot in the head, face, and also he was stabbed, which kind of indicated that the killer was pretty upset at Dennis. Now, Norma was shot, but it was nothing like Dennis, so they quickly realized that the problem was with Dennis and that Norma just got in the way. Or at least that's what it seems like. The killer seemed like he was invited to the house, and they realized that because there was no forced entry. And so he probably was a friend, or he was a family member, or something that, somebody that they knew. So they also found that Dennis was drinking coffee or something. He had a cup by him, which made it seem like he was very relaxed and casual at the time that everything happened. Now the police that had not much experience with this kind of case, they called the Texas Rangers, and when they arrived at the house, they started investigating, and they kind of guessed, because of course this is not an autopsy, but they guessed that the people died, or the couple died, but around Sunday. Now, they mention in the different things that I watched and read about this that they realized that because the blood was dry, but they weren't decomposed in a way that it would show that it's house, either because he knew the routine or he knew that nobody was coming because they live by themselves, or because it was somebody who frequented the house enough that he didn't care about the time that it would take him to clean before he left the house. When the autopsy came back, it revealed that Dennis was dead before he was stabbed, which confirmed what the police was saying, that the killer was very angry at him, so he killed him and then stabbed him, which is pretty sad. And I don't know, it actually shows how angry the killer was. It also confirmed that both of them were killed on Sunday. The gun was a 44 or a 45, so the police started to investigate around the family and friends to see if anybody had one, a gun like that. They called in Charla, but because of the brutality of the crime, they didn't think it was her, but still needed to ask her questions and her whereabouts on the time and the day of the murder. And she told him that she was watching her cousins 3 hours away from her parents' house, and that around 8 p.m. she left to go back to her college. Now police quickly confirmed that she was telling the truth, so they moved on to Brandon, which is her brother. He was acting pretty weird from the beginning of the interrogation, but that sometimes happens because we all react different to tragedy. But when the police asked him where he was, he told them that he was 20 minutes away from his parents' house in his girlfriend's home, and that the girlfriend's mom was also there to confirm that he stayed there until 5 p.m. when he left for his parents' house to eat pizza and spend some time together. Okay, so that puts him in the crime scene and being one of the last people that seen the couple. He also tells the police that he left around 6:30 to his old home in Heath, where he helps his parents to take care of the house and the horses they have in the property. Then he picked up a friend and went to a club and returned to his friend's house. So that was the recount of his day. Now, he also mentioned a few people that could have wanted to hurt the parents. One of them being Luke Donovan, who used to be Brandon's friend, but they had a fight over a girl. And according to Brandon, Luke threatened Brandon. The police at this point are thinking, this is just some kid fight. And I don't know, he just happened to remember that. So they still had to investigate, and that gave them a name and somewhat a place to start. Brandon also mentioned a few weird things that happened before the couple died, and one of them being that Dennis, his dad, had a dog that was very expensive, and the dog died recently because of antifreeze poisoning, which it was kind of stretching it there, thinking or saying that he thought that Luke did it. He also said, Brandon, that his dad thought so too. Weird, because, if the dad thought that somewhat he could, Luke, the friend, Brandon's ex-friend, could have done this, wouldn't he have called the police? File a complaint, show them some evidence, or do something about it. That's pretty weird. You don't go around killing other people's dog. So, that is what Brandon said, so I don't know if that's what Brandon thought or what the parent thought as well. The police investigated Luke and tried to corroborate Brandon's alibi at the same time. So Luke testified, but he honestly thought that the police thought that he was innocent from the beginning. He looked like the kind of person that is, kind of sad by what happened to this family, and he even tells the police that he loved the family and that he didn't even kill the dog either. He wouldn't do that. And so when the police ask him where he was at the time of the murder, he says that he was at his girlfriend's house watching a movie. Now the police verified sometime his alibi, but the police decided to check his cell phone records and also Brandon's, because they wanted to confirm that they were actually where they said they were, and they could do that by pinpointing their location in the cell phone towers. So in the meantime, that takes time. It's not like instant. So in the meantime, the police continue to investigate, and even after speaking with people from the town, they just couldn't find anything that could help them. That is when they receive a call and changed everything. This lady's name is Joanna Dennings. And she's saying that she had her gun stolen, and that she's afraid that is the gun that was used to kill the couple. Now, Joanna was Brandon's girlfriend's mom, so she was somehow close to the family. So even though they don't want to think that Brandon could be involved in this, they still have doubts, and they're afraid that, he was the one who killed them, or he was the one who stole the gun for somebody to kill them. But what's interesting in this case is that Joanna didn't have information about how the couple was killed. They didn't give that information away. She didn't know if it was a stabbing or if it was a gunshot, and that is why she was doubting. And she didn't want to say, hey, maybe Brandon stole this and killed his parents, because she had no idea how they died and what if she did that. And she liked Brandon. It was, her daughter's boyfriend, so she didn't want to incriminate somebody and that she wasn't even sure how the people were killed. So Joanna says her husband keeps the gun in the playroom area. It's not loaded, but it has some ammunition by it. It seems like it's a display area for the gun, and it's missing some ammunition. So not only took the gun, but also it took some bullets. Whoever took it took some bullets as well. They were not sure when the gun disappeared, and they also mentioned that 4 or 5 weeks ago they had a party, and Luke was there as well at the party. So the police asked for a bullet to compare with the ones that they found in the bodies, and they wanted to see if it would indicate some kind of connection. So the police talked to Luke and asked if he went to Brandon's girlfriend's house to that party, and he said he did, but he didn't take the gun, and that was weeks ago, and then he hasn't been there since then. Now when they talked back to the family, they confirmed that he wasn't there, since that party. Look, anyways. So now they knew Brandon was at his girlfriend's house the morning of the killing, and that specific Sunday. So that puts him in an interesting position. out that he was failing every class. He was also skipping class. And according to his family, the parents knew to some extent the problem that Brandon was having at school. And that they talked to Brandon about it, and they gave him until the end of the semester to put his grades up. If not, he was coming back home, and they were going to try to find a way to send him to public school or somewhat close to their house so they could, I don't know, save some money and not have to spend so much money on something that he wasn't even putting effort into it. Police also discovered when they were asking around in the school that he was showing off money. So when the police asked his friends where he was getting the money, they said that Brandon was a model, and he was modeling in New York City and Florida, and that's how he was making good money. Now when police investigated, the story was kind of different. He wasn't actually modeling, he was being an actor for an adult movie with guys. And they quickly realized that he was pretty afraid to tell his parents about his job. And since he was in a Christian school, Brandon, he was kind of living two lives, and everyone knew, as far as his friends and close people, but his family didn't. On his family side, he was being the good boy that went to college and is in a Christian school, and on the other side, he was being an adult movie actor with guys. So, kind of the opposite of what the family wanted for him, or thought that he was doing anyways. When the phone records came back, the police confirmed that Luke was at his girlfriend's house. But Brandon's phone record showed something completely different, and that the records put him in the area where his parents died. It wasn't like he said. So that kind of showed the police that Brandon was actually lying. So they had enough evidence to arrest him, not to convict him, because they didn't have any physical evidence, but they had enough to arrest him. His family at this point, they can't believe that Brandon did it. He's waiting for his trial, but the family is in disbelief, and the police is looking for evidence, physical evidence, to have everything ready for the trial. So a family member was cleaning the house. They had the house at Heath, where the whole house, I should say, where they had the horses, and Brandon was taking care of the house and the horses. Well, this family member was cleaning the house, and he found a dagger with skulls in the handle. I don't know why, but this person, which they don't say if it was somewhat close, the family member, they don't even mention the name, he takes the gun to the police, not the gun, the dagger to the police, and he is worried that that's what it was used to stab Dennis. So the police removed the skulls from the dagger, and they found Dennis' blood. So now they have the evidence that they need to convict Dennis, because if you were paying attention and if you're still awake, he went to his parents' house for pizza, and then he left and went to the house in Heath, to feed the horses and take care of the house before going out what happened to the sweet boy that Brandon was. Again, a very sad case where I believe that, sometimes the way that you're raised, you have your parents' expectations of what you truly should be, and sometimes it doesn't go with what you are or what you want to do with your life. So it's sad that Brandon had to, or felt that he had to do this in order to hide his life. I mean, he was trying to hide that he was doing these adult movies, and maybe that he was gay. Maybe he wasn't. I don't know. They don't mention that, but maybe he was trying to hide that. But I mean, he made it worse because he could have talked to his parents, and if he lost, the support of the parents as far as money and college and whatever, he was still working. He was still making money. He could still support himself. I think he was afraid of losing the love of his parents, and which is pretty sad, because if you are a parent, then you know that you love them. You love your kids unconditionally, and no matter what they do, you can't be disappointed in what they do. You can't be sad about something that they choose to do with their lives, but you still love them. And if you are a parent, or if you think that your parents won't love you, or you know your parents won't love you if you tell them the truth, then maybe they're not such good parents. So I don't think that was the case. I don't think that Dennis and Norma wouldn't have understand. They would probably hate it. They would probably be mad at Brandon. They would probably take the money support away from him. But I don't think it was going to be something that was going to ruin their relationship forever. Just keep in mind that sometimes you just have to tell the truth. Wait for everyone to get over it. The shock at first of whatever it is that you share with them. And time usually makes people think or see things in a different way. So, in this case, it's really sad because his parents now are dead. He killed his parents. Now he's in jail. And his family, Charla, the sister, is devastated. She has some serious problems now with everything that happened to them. And he just kind of ruined his entire family. I don't know. I sometimes think that these people, they have something in their mind that goes off, and doesn't let them think clearly of the consequences. Yeah, he got rid of the problem of the judging of his parents of what he was doing. But did he really? You can't do that. You can't really get away from your problems that way. It's a sad situation, but thankfully it was resolved. This is not a cold case. And sadly, Brandon was the one responsible for it. So now he's paying the price of, avoiding the judgment. So, anyways, thanks again for watching this video.